Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're doing something fast and fun and a great skill builder. We're making the mini Magda from Rosa patterns, and I will link the pattern below. We're doing a super fun summer version today, which is why it's part of our summer sewing series. You'll see it soon, the materials. I don't have a finished version of the materials that we're making today, but just for reference, this is a mini Magda. And we're making ours at 120%-ish. And I'll tell you about the ish in a second, but this is 120% mini Magda. And I made it this size because I wanted it to fit a cell phone. So again, this is not the one we're making today, but this is a fun quilted cotton candy version at 120%. Now, the ish in our 120% today is because we are making a thinner gusset, and so we measured all of our pieces and we made our pattern at 120%, and then we took off 1.25 inches from our bottom gusset and a little more than 1/2 inch on each of our zipper panel pieces, these ones here, to make our ice cream, make our ice cream bag really work. So we're going to get into the materials and the sewing, and I am so excited to see what this looks like. I hope it turns out the way I think it will. Thank you for joining me today, and let's get right into it. All right, so let's go over what we're going to need for our project today. First, I'll just note we are once again using this double folded bias tape, and this is from Amazon. I will link this below so that it's easy for you to find. And that will be to bind our circle pieces. Next, we're using number 5 zipper tape. This is like a hot pink with gunmetal teeth, and this is from Saya Swag. And then we have a number 5 zipper pull to go on that, and this is gunmetal color as well. Now from Waywack, we have our hardware for our straps and our D-rings. So we have 2 swivel hooks, 2 D-rings, and 1 slider, all for 1-inch webbing. And the 1-inch webbing we're using today is from Wonderground. This is lavender, and I thought it was going to go so well with some of our little sprinkles. So there's that. And then we're using rivets to put our strap together, and we will put the strap together on camera. I usually don't, but I had a request, and so to honor that request, I am going to make the full strap with the webbing towards the end of our sewing. We have our bag tag. This is Heartwood and Hide. This is the mint color. And then we'll go over our circle pieces first. So we're doing this at 120%. So we just printed our pattern in the printer settings at 120%. So our interior is this hot pink waterproof canvas, also from Wonderground. Our exterior is this super fun ice cream vinyl from Itchin' to Get Stitchin', and everything that I can link will be linked below, including this. And then we have our zipper panel pieces. So our exterior is this waffle cone, also from Itchin' to Get Stitchin'. And our interior, once again, is this hot pink waterproof canvas, and we have 2 cuts of those. And the reason we're making this at 120%-ish is that we made everything 120%, but then I took 1 inch off of the width of our regular gusset, and I took a little over 1.25 inch. I took a little over 1/2 inch off of the width of each of our zipper panel pieces. And I did that just because our waffle cone has drippies on it, which is cool, but I didn't want the drippies, and so I had to make some adjustments. So let me just go over this really quick again. So these are our zipper panel pieces, printed or created at 120%. And so if you are making pieces based off measurements, you just take whatever measurement it is and you multiply that by 120%, and that's how you get your new measurements for length and width. So our length is 120%, And our width originally was at 120%, but each zipper panel piece we took a slight bit over a half an inch off to make it match. And we might have to do some adjustments when we put this together, but we'll see when we get there. And then this is our gusset panel piece, so same interior and exterior, the waffle cone from Itchin' to Get Stitchin', and our waterproof canvas. And so here it's just, again, 120% in length, and then the width we took 1 1/4 inch off, and that was just so that we only had waffle cone. I probably would have left it, but I also like the skinnier version of the 120%, and you'll see that when we put the whole bag together. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to let me know, and I'll see if I can explain it another way. All right, so that's all of our materials today. Time to move over to the sewing machine. All right, so we are here at the machine, and we're gonna do our main panel pieces first. Honestly, this whole bag comes together so quickly. It is not gonna be a hard sew, and I know you're thinking, are you crazy? It's a circle. Of course it's gonna be hard, but it's honestly not. It comes together super fast, and it's great practice for curves because the whole thing is a curve. I'm just marking the centers. Of our exterior panels by cutting triangles. Okay, we're gonna put our bag tag on first. There are no pockets inside this bag, which is why it comes together so quickly. So just a little bit of double-sided tape, and I don't know why, but I like this panel, so we're going to use this one as our front. And we're just going to line up by using our center marks. Make a little crease. There we go. Now we're just going to top stitch around our bag tag. Came to the edge. And there we go. Bag tag is on. Now we're just going to take we're going to take our main panel face down, so wrong side up. We're going to take our interior lining wrong side down so that we can see the good part of our waterproof canvas. And we're just going to clip these together. And this, again, is why this is such a fast sew, you guys, because we're using bindings. We don't have to turn anything. Easy peasy. Okay, so now we have right side out, so wrong sides together, and we're just going to sew these together. And we're just basting. And you don't have to have perfect stitching because this will all get covered up in the end. You can see I went a little wild here, and that's okay. We're going to put that to the side. I'm going to do the same thing on the back side. And you can see I was just using my hand to sort of guide along. It's not hard. I think it's easier than a corner because it's just a continuous curve, and so you can sort of keep it straight. All right, so those are done for now. So now we're going to take our zipper panel pieces. We're going to take our zipper, cut it. We're just going to make it a little extra than we need. You don't have to do that. It's just a thing I do, and I don't know why. And we'll burn the ends later. But so here what we're doing is we're just going to clip on our exterior face side down. So right side is facing the right side of the zipper. And we're making our zipper sandwich. And now we're taking the right side of our interior. So we're right sides together once again here. And we're just making what's called a zipper sandwich. So we're lining up our panels. And this is like an ice cream zipper sandwich, which makes it even better. And we're just going to sew these together at the seam allowance. So you're following the pattern except for the size. So you do you. Always back stitching. And then we're just opening this up, and our zipper panel pieces are going to end up being bigger, I can already tell, and that's okay. We'll just cut them down, not a big deal. So we're just pressing the back side away and the front side, and we are going to throw a top stitch on here, and top stitch is just 1/8 of an inch away from your edge. We're just going to continue to make sure that our panel pieces are pulled away. There we go. Top stitched. Looking perfect. And if it doesn't look perfect, nobody's gonna know. All right, now we're gonna make the other side the exact same way. We're just here now making sure that we're lining up where we start with where the other side started as well. And attaching again here, right sides together, just like the other side. All right, same thing. We're gonna press and top stitch. This hot pink zipper is so fun. I originally got the hot pink stuff to do Barbie things, but this is also perfect. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna, before we sew these pieces together, I'm gonna fix the size and difference that we have here by taking our gusset and lining the zipper up right in the middle. Now, if you're following the pattern, you're not going to have this sort of situation in the same way that I do right now. Again, I just amended to be able to fit our fabric. Okay, we're going to take we're going to take that down. I'm trying to find my... All right, so I'm just using an air erasing marker. I'm just going to draw down where we need to take off. Okay. And we'll just do we're just snipping right along that line. Okay. Now we want to put our zipper pull on before we forget. Okay, and here is where we can cut down our, actually we're gonna baste our panel pieces down first together. This will make it easier. And so we made it so that these aren't going to separate from each other, which will help when we're attaching this to our main panel. So it is an important step. So cute. All right, now we can cut the ends of our zipper tape, so the extra. And if you measured it to be exact, you don't have to do this, obviously. And now we're gonna do our zipper end burn. Stop the fray. I think I need a shirt that says that. We'll stop the fray. All right. And over here, I'm just cutting 2-inch strips, and I'll be back in front of the camera in 1 second. So we have 2-inch strips of our lavender webbing, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did to our zipper tape to the ends of this as well. So we're burning. And since we're making this a crossbody bag, we're putting 2, 1 on each side. If you were just doing a wristlet, you could just do 1. You could attach it somewhere different after, whichever you'd like. But this is how we're doing it. Okay, so we want to slide our D-ring onto our webbing, like so. Okay, and then we're going to attach our webbing right over the ends of our zipper. Like that on both sides. And so we're just matching up the middle of our webbing with the zipper. And we're going to baste this on. Here we go. So basically our zipper tabs will come up like this, but we're basted on both sides. So now we can attach our gusset piece. And so here's where we take our gusset and we put it face down, so we're right sides together, with our zipper panel and our zipper. And then we take the right side of our interior gusset piece, match that up, and we're going to sew these together per the pattern, making sure that your D-ring is well out of the way here. And this is bulky, so keep that in mind. We're just gonna grab a piece of vinyl, just sort of bulk up under here. And then we want to check our stitches. And I can see that where we sort of jumped down again, our stitches did not stay where we wanted. So we're just going to go back through. There we go. So we're stitched together. And you know what? I think we're going to not, normally you would top stitch right here. I think we're not going to do that, you guys, because I think it's going to end up being too heavy or too bulky for us. And I want to understand the limit of my machine and be respectful of that. And it was a lot to go through this first time. I think if we top stitch, we might be playing with fire a little bit. So we're just going to go ahead and attach now, again, right side to the top and right side to the bottom. So you have 2 loops here. We're going to stitch together at the same length, same 3/8 inch, back stitching. Okay, that one worked out perfectly. So now we're just turning so that everything matches. And I'm going to clip together because we're going to baste our gusset pieces together as well. So basting our pieces together will just make it easier when we attach them to our main panels of our bags. And you don't have to worry about matching up multiple pieces of fabric. Okay. Perfect. And that stitch doesn't have to be like a superior looking stitch either. Again, this is going to be covered with binding, so it's going to be okay. Now, also we tacked down our sides here when we did that, and so the fact that we didn't top stitch should not be such a big deal at this moment. I just think it's going to be better for us in the long run to not have skipped stitches, basically. All right, now we want to find the center. So we just match up where we sewed everything together. And we're going to clip the top and the bottom on both sides. And that's going to make it so that we can very easily attach our circle panels. Hey guys, we're in the home stretch. We are putting the bag together. See how fast that is? So fast, and makes such a cool shape. All right, so we turn our gusset so that it's wrong sides out. And let's see, our bag is opening this way. So this will be our front side. And so we're just going to take our center marking on our gusset and our center marking on our circle. We're going to match that up. We're going to come down the bottom and do the same thing. Matching those centers. And we're just going to work our way around, understanding that we might need to make a few adjustment cuts in our gusset piece. And an adjustment cut is just to solve for any issue where it doesn't fit very well. So I'll show you what that means here in a minute. Okay, so you can see here we have what looks like a little extra, but we don't actually have extra. We just need to work our gusset piece in. So we're making small snips into our gusset. That's going to help our fabric expand and sort of work in, see, just like that. So the top gusset fans out, and then we're able to smush our fabric to match up. Well, we're going to do one more little snippy here. And there we go. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. And this doesn't affect the integrity of the bag at all. All these little snips are going to be covered with binding and sewed together. So when it hits that sort of sewn together mark, it would stop if it was starting to come apart or fray, etc. Just eases, it helps you ease the fabric. And sometimes you need that little ease. All right, now what you can do is you can staple this together so that it doesn't move, or you can just keep your fingers crossed, and we're just going to keep our fingers crossed. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to sew with our gusset up and our main panel down, and we're sewing this at a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. And so You just line up where you're starting with that 1/4 inch, and you're going to use your hand to just continue that all the way around. We're just taking our time where we have the bulk from our seams. And I just undid the zipper here to make it a little easier to push down the bit that we're sewing. You just want to make sure your zipper and your D-ring stay out of the way. Okay guys, we are stitched around our circle and our stitching looks great. Actually very excited about that. And you know, we just want to make sure we got everything. And we did. All right, now we're gonna cut anything sort of extra that is hanging off that might get in our way when we're putting our binding on. And if you are like, oh, I can't make this bag, I hate binding, you can make this bag, and you should, because binding is so forgiving. I changed tutorials when people would mention binding when I was first sewing, and honestly I wish I hadn't, because maybe I would have tried it sooner and realized that it's awesome and it's not something to be scared of. So this is a double fold bias, so it's already folded. Some people make their own. Some people are going to unfold this, make it complicated. We're going to make it easy. We're just going to put this around our entire circle, you guys. So easy. Okay, so we just attach our binding around our circle, with the goal being that it covers up our sewing, our stitching, and just gives a clean finished edge. And because we're using white thread and white binding, you're not going to see our stitching on the binding ever. And that's why I say binding is awesome, because you don't have to have a good top stitch to be able to make a really pretty bag. And I think when you're beginning, the more that you can utilize binding, if you don't have a great stitch, the better. You'll be able to make high quality looking bags without worrying about what your stitching looks like. And understanding that you can do things like skip a top stitch on something if you feel like your machine is going to struggle with it and it's going to ruin your bag. Don't do it. This isn't going anywhere now. Now that we've attached it to the sides, like, we're good. And so is the bag, and so is whatever you choose to do. It does not have to be scary. All right, so here we just cut a little bit longer than we need. And we're just going to take our end and fold it under. Personal preference. You don't have to. Okay, here we go. And now we're just going to stitch this on. Easy peasy. Seriously. Again, we're just taking our time where the bulk is. There we go. All right, we're just gonna trim. Oh yeah, look at that. So see, now you can't see any of our stitching from before, and it just looks totally finished. We caught everything, we're excited, and that was fast and easy. So now you're just gonna do the exact same thing for the back side. Here, I am going to do that off camera because we are going to follow, like I said, the exact same process. This has no top, no bottom, so it's even easier. You just match up your triangles the same way, stitch around, add our binding, and then when we come back, we will have a totally bound bag, and we will go ahead and make our crossbody strap and flip this thing inside out so you can see how awesome it came together. Almost there. So we have our Cam Snaps rivet machine, the green machine if you've heard it called that before. And I've cut what will be our crossbody strap into 56 inches in length. And we have our hole cutting dies on here right now. So we're just going to take one end and we're going to feed it up through our slider and back down. Okay, and then we're gonna fold in. So we pull up about 2 inches or 1.75 inches. And then you wanna fold underneath here so you can see we end up with 3 layers. Make sure that's even. We're gonna punch a hole right through the center and we're just gonna eyeball it about halfway. I gotta stand up to do it. Okay, now we have our hole. And we're just gonna take a gunmetal rivet, and these are 9mm by 8mm. And we just stick it through our hole that we just made. And we grab a top. And we're just gonna hold it in place for now. So this is what we're looking at. Okay. Now, we wanna take the other end and with the back side of our strap facing upwards, we're gonna take a swivel hook and we're gonna put it down, face side down. Okay, so now it's on the bottom and we're threading back up through our slider on the wrong side and back down. So what you should be looking at is you have a swivel hook on one end, you have the right side of your clasp, your slider bar, and then here is where we're going to loop on our other swivel. So before you rivet, you have swivel one end, right side of your swivel of your bar clasp, and then swivel on the other end. And so now we're just going to fold over the same way that we did before. So about 1.75 inches. Okay, and then right in the center is where we want to put our hole. And then we thread through a rivet, grab a top, just like that. Okay, so now we just have to set our rivets and then our strap will be complete. So you could sew this strap. I'm just gonna switch out the die. So now we're gonna put in our die that will help us set the rivet. So one just goes in the bottom and one threads at the top. You could sew boxes using the same measurements and all of that for your webbing, your length, total length, etc. But I prefer rivets. So now we just take our rivet, we're gonna place it so that it sits right in that bottom hole, line it up with the top, and press. Okay, and then we do the same thing here. So we just sit it, press. And there we go. Now our strap is done and our bag is complete. So we've got the binding on both sides. So now we're just gonna turn this baby out and put it all together. Okay, you guys, we're done. I saved you the trouble of watching me struggle to turn. Here we are. So we do still have to just poke out some of our sides, and that's just pushing out on the binding, and then we'll sort of stuff it to have it keep its shape. But look, Look at how cute she is. We also attached our strap that we finished. Look at her. I mean, so perfect for summer, so cute. And as I was sewing this, my 8-year-old already requested it, as she does most of the bags. But this is, again, it's great for beginners because it's basically one big curve instead of curving and having to like swoop back up and down. And so if you've never done it, it's great for that. And the binding covers up so much. Again, this is a mini Magda at 120%-ish with the smaller gusset and zipper panels than 120 in width at least, but same in length. So I hope you love this. I hope you enjoy making one of your own. If you don't have the mini Magda pattern, definitely pick it up. It is so worth it, and you can make it any size you want. So this is a crossbody. So cute. I hope you love it. Happy summer, and I'll see you soon.